don't wait for tomorrow. Act now, you know, do stuff now. That's
what it
everything's happening right now. If you put it off till tomorrow, you put it off till next week, you put it off till next month, you put it off till next year, then you don't do it.
Today's episode of Coffee on the Go is sponsored by AFCOM Communications, creative writing for your company. Guys, we're having another beautiful day and it's lovely sunny. Spring is here and I've got a guy, he claims he reinvented the wheel when it comes to water tanks. So Clayton, thanks for coming in, mate.
Thanks, Jessic. Thanks for the coffee. Coffee on the go. No, it is a lovely day. So yeah, we're all about water and rainwater specifically. So many people, you know, they've had to use rainwater for decades and, you know, for centuries really, ever since Australia was colonised, rainwater was about. So we're just trying to bring it into a light that it needs to be in. You know, we've become too dependent on other sources of water, particularly Western Australia, desalination plants. People think we're safe and we've got plenty of water, but yeah, many people might not realise that this desalination plant in New South Wales in Sydney went down for quite a number of years. So, you know, there's many reasons why you want alternative sources of water. Yeah, not relying on scheme water all the time. I've come up from a farming family, so personally I've been involved all my life with rainwater harvesting. Yeah, even then, when we ran out of rainwater, we used to have to take the truck into town and cart our own drinking water to the farm. So, you know, that's a couple of hours every day to get water for ourselves to utilise in the house. So I guess why I don't see it as something strange, whereas people in the city, you know, rainwater harvesting is quite a new concept to them, to a lot of people I meet.
Here comes the big thing, yeah, the slim water tanks with filtration systems and
yeah, that's right.
Well, yards, yeah.
Well, everyone seems to think, you know, rainwater harvesting, it's in the country, it's in urban in the rural blocks, you know, when you've got acreage and you got your great big round tank. But you know, what we're doing is with our little urban blocks, you might only have a 400, 500, 600 square metre block, and you don't have much room for anything. But our slimline under eaves tanks, they're only 260 millimetres wide, so you know that's skinnier than your little kid's school ruler, and it fits down the side of your house under the eaves. It's 1,000 litres. You can hang a vertical garden off of it and grow some herbs, you know, grow some nice little flowers, some succulents for your kids to play. You know, we've got a little fairy garden in our one at home, and our granddaughter loves that. So there's many things you can do. The tanks can even be used as a fence line. You know, we're going to set them up. We're making it in a patio area. Then we've got our barbecue there. We've got the water tap on the barbecue. We're feeding that from the rainwater tank. So you've got yourself a nice little courtyard. It's your outdoor sitting area with a vertical garden. You know, it's a nice cooling effect in the summertime, and it's just a beautiful place to sit. So, you know, instead of having this big colour bond monstrosity and, you know, conducting heat from the summer, you know, from the sun, you've got yourself a nice little environment, little ecosystem, and fresh herbs and everything you can even eat. So,
and you can connect the one with the other, yeah. So
you can keep running them in a line as long as you go. You know, we've got a photo on our website. There's 10 tanks in a line, so that's 24 metres of tanks. So
better than a fence.
10 tanks, 10 1,000 litre tanks, so 10,000 litres of water storage, and it's a fence as well. So that's how the tanks came about originally. So they were made as a fence line. They basically suit the same dimensions as a fence. They're 1.85 metres tall, they're 2.4 metres long, so the same dimensions as a fence panel. So effectively that's how they came about, and then they've added into the lineup the vertical garden because of the way they're made, the patented cross-design technology. You can actually put in little connectors in there, which then allow irrigation pipe to be hung from the tank. Then we hang a little planter pot off of the irrigation pipe, and you can water your vertical garden straight from the tank or straight from your garden tap from your scheme water.
And with all that innovation you've been doing anyway, you've mentioned before you creating now a solar-powered pump that will
we're doing
operate
that.
We're
with the big drive. We've got, you know, a lot of customers are asking. You know, everybody's getting a bit more environmentally conscious these days. So I've developed a little diaphragm pump with a solar arrangement, so we're going to have that, and it's going to be run off a timer and a solenoid. So basically it's set and forget. You'll set it all up and it'll pump from the tank, so you'll use that rainwater to water your vertical garden. So the best thing about rainwater is it is actually better for your plants because it does contain nitrogen. As it falls through the atmosphere, it collects nitrogen molecules, and then the garden responds so much better to rainwater than to scheme water. And people probably have observed that in the past. When it rains, your lawn just looks nice and lush, as opposed to in the summer you'll use the scheme water and it just doesn't have the same effect as rainwater does. So yeah, we do have that we're introducing into our lineup currently. It's in prototype at the moment, but I'm pretty sure I'll be rolling that out very soon.
Mm-hmm. Tell us more about the filtration systems, because you want to connect the rainwater tanks to the houses anyway.
Yeah, we connect the rainwater tanks to the house as well. So that's the most efficient use of the rainwater. So you can, if you've only got a 1,000 litre tank and you plumb it back into your house, you can effectively put about 10 times that tank back through your house. So your 1,000 litre tank then becomes a 10,000 litre tank, or your 3,000 litre tank, that becomes a 30,000 litre tank. So you can then filter that water, you can add a water softener, you can do whatever you want to use that water effectively, and it'll become so much nicer than the scheme water, because we all know when we use the scheme water, we'll wash our hair and our hair feels like it's all like straw and a scarecrow, and you use your rainwater and it's nice soft water, and for drinking purposes it's so much nicer as well. Once you treat rainwater, and it's like everything, as I say, the councils don't stop us from having a swimming pool or a spa. So all we need to do is treat the water so we don't get sick from that water that we swim in. So when you apply that same technique to your rainwater tank, as long as you treat your rainwater, you've got it. You keep your bacteria out of it, you filter it before you use it. There's no difference, and it's it's a really nice source of water. So I know that when we drink scheme water, if it's not chilled, it tastes horrible. But with rainwater, you sit it on the bench, you can drink it at room temperature. The body absorbs water at room temperature a whole lot better than when it's chilled. So it's better for you. It's better for your body to consume it at room temperature. And it's just so much. It's just so much more pleasant to drink.
It's much better than bottled water, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. As far as health and wellness goes, bottled water comes in its little plastic packaging, and as we know, there's been a big drive on BPA plastics. The bisphenol plastics. Nobody likes it, and I'm not particularly keen of it either. We like to use reusable bottles. We filter our rainwater and drink from reusable bottles. So, from a cost perspective, if you were to look at how much bottled water you're using, then a rainwater tank and reusable bottles, then you're going to be miles ahead, because especially if you're buying your bottled water from a service station or from a deli while you're out at lunch at work, you could be paying $2 or $3 a bottle, and that'll soon add up. If you times that by 300 days of the year at $2 a bottle, that's $600. Well, that's quite a lot of money, and that's only one person. So if you're actually drinking 2 litres a day, like the Australian Medical Association recommends, that's 3 bottles of water a day. There's $6 or $10 possibly, depending on where you buy it from. So it all adds up. And then if you want to compare it, how much it costs to set up your rainwater tank, well, if you cut plastic water bottles out of your life and take your own rainwater with you, the rainwater tank, the infrastructure pays itself off quite quickly then.
So if someone wants to put the money in, and put a filtration in, put the tanks in, how do they determine how big the tank should be?
Well, one of the easiest things to do is to look at your water bill, and that'll tell you how much you're using from home then. So that way you'll know, that's going to cover everything, right through from your garden, through to your toilets, to your showers. So then it depends on what you want to use it for. So I guess you could sort of do some calculations of how many litres a day you want to drink. Like a rain-saving shower head will use 9 litres a minute. So then it depends on how many minutes a day you like to stand under the shower. if you want it plumbed into your shower, how you want to go about it. So there's a whole lot of variables that we can discuss. We can tailor it to everybody's individual needs and say, okay, and you're in Perth. No, so last year we got between 650 to 850 millimetres of rain. So, and there was up to 1.2 metres, 1,200 millimetres in the foothills of Perth last year. So even though they're saying Perth doesn't get much rain, we still do get quite a lot of rain. So it's about using it efficiently. So that's the biggest thing. It's educating people how to use rainwater. Not just going, here's a tank, have a go for it and see what happens. It's quite an involved sort of way to look at it. But it can be done quite effectively.
Plus, the rainfall season is extended throughout the year now, so it's not just the rain season that we
definitely
used to have years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Now we used to traditionally, everybody still thinks Perth gets all its rainfall in the winter time. Now I've looked at the last 25 years of data on the Bureau of Meteorology, and I think there's about 4 years where it actually we had more rain in winter than in summer. So the rest of the time, well, not only summer though, sorry, that's for about 3 months of the year of winter we get half of our rainfall. For about 6 months of the rest of the year, that's when we get the other half of our rainfall. So there was only 4 years where we got more than half in winter and less than half in the rest of the years. So it's been spread out along the whole course of the year. So in effect, we're pretty lucky in that respect, because if we're using the water, dropping the level in our tank, then when it rains we get it to fill up again, and then we drop it again, we get it to fill up again. So we don't want to keep our rainwater tank full, we want to keep it empty. We want to keep using it so that it then can be recharged and we can use the water the most efficiently then. That way we're having the biggest effect, and we're using the most water, saving more water on our bill, everything. That's the best way to use the water efficiently.
Yeah, let's just don't use it as water storage.
Don't store it, use it. That's the I guess that's my message. It's rainwater is a resource that we want to use. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it going down the drain, because what it does, it recharges the aquifers, but then it has to get pulled back out of the aquifers, and that's quite costly. So it costs us a lot of money to run the desalination plants. I think we're up to, I think it was $1.5 billion to build the 2 desalination plants. It was nearly $400 million to build the Emu Downs wind farm. The government have put a lot of money, that's close to $2 billion in infrastructure has gone in to turn seawater into drinking water. And then it has to be shipped out, and it gets sent to Merredin and out to Kalgoorlie and Coolgardie and everywhere like that, and it tops up Mundaring, Weir. So there's quite a lot of money involved in scheme water, so people don't see the big picture. So that all that salty water out in the ocean, the rainwater runs back out into the ocean as well. Then it has to go back through the system to be drinkable again. So if we can capture that water in our own home, and that's the beauty of rainwater, it's delivered to us for free. The rain falls on our roof, we capture it in our own homes, and then we use it. So we don't have to pay the government, we don't have to pay the council. We've got total control of how we treat the water and how we use it.
Well, Clayton, thanks for coming in. Thanks for telling us about your business, and all the best in the future. And I hope you're going to have more and more people coming through.
Yes, no, thanks, Jessica, and thanks for the opportunity to talk to everybody today. It's been my pleasure, and all the best for you and your future too with Coffee on the Go.
Thanks. See you guys next time. Take care.
See ya. It's how you treat people. So that's my way of looking at life. It's all based around community and being a good community member. And like our business, that's the way I look at it, is if I've got to, as I say, give education and give people the right package. There's no point me selling somebody a rainwater tank that's not going to do what it needs. Whereas if I educate them and I sell them the right rainwater tank, the right pump, the right filtration, then they'll tell all of their friends and they'll write something good on Facebook about me.
If you like that video, please like, subscribe and share.